Welcome to On the Firing Line on the information station, AM 1440 KUHL. Information, education, news, and politics of firearms and ammunition is found here. If you have any questions, call us at 1-888-625-1440. That's 1-888-625-1440.
And you are on the firing line with Joe, Matt, and Kanani. And if you'd like to be a part of today's show, please give us a call at 888-625-1440. Or if you're in the Santa Maria area, please give us a call at 928-1440.
Nice, dude. Thanks for switching that up for us today. So September 11th, 2001 will be a day we must remember. And every September 11th Every September 11th after, we must stop to reflect what it meant, just as we do for December 7th, 1941. These are dates which have changed our country and the world forever, leaving us with the scars that show two things: the evils of mankind and the ability of mankind to be able to fight the evil beset upon him. September 11th, 2001 was an evil attack upon our great nation that killed so many innocent Americans who could have given so much more to our world. We will never know what those gifts would have been, or for their lives have been cut short. In the days that followed the attack, I saw a great nation stand in solidarity and support of the fallen. Now, fast forward to the year 2014, September 11th, and look around at the world we live in. It seems that so many of us have forgotten what brought us together.
Wow.
And that is true. I do see that.
You came up with that all on your own?
Thanks, dude.
Awesome. It's seriously, though, I think you're right. We do see that. I know on Facebook, sure, we saw a lot of the posts of, the fallen, the police, the firemen. And now it almost seems like it's been, and I'm not trying to take anything away from it, but it seems like it's been, I don't know, commercialized. Hey, the police, the firemen.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like trendy.
Yeah.
Like it's almost the cool thing to post. But
And,
maybe not.
And we also see that it seems to be one side of the political aisle that seems to be putting out more than the other.
Yeah.
I don't see the solidarity. I don't see the flags out. I mean, heck, we drove down our streets in our neighborhoods and we didn't see but a couple flags out. Is it that soon that we've forgotten? This is a war that's continued on. We're still in the same war against terrorism. How it's being handled is regardless of how it's being handled, we still need to show support for our military men and women out there, and remember that this battle is ongoing. Just because perhaps now we have a president that doesn't have a strategy or is not handling the situation, or even created the situation that's gone, I don't know,
right,
in a sense viral. I just...
Yeah, well, I see the comparison between Pearl Harbor, December 7th and September 11th. It's just... for two different generations, basically, that was a huge day. That started something that changed, it's never going to be the same again. Ever. Ever. And, I can even recall back to when, obviously we all had crazy thoughts going back then, but it was just kind of like, wow, that really just happened, that kind of stuff's really possible. I mean, it was an eye-opener, just because we didn't have that kind of stuff happen a whole lot in America.
Would have been, maybe 70 years since Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, just about, a little over.
And like you said, I think that the change, granted it was two different incidents, and how America changed was different each time. From then, we were hit in Hawaii by surprise. Maybe we shouldn't have. There's a lot of discussion there. But look at the military people that were taken down, the ships that were sunk. I mean, heck, Matt, you went and saw the memorial there in Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, it's something else. And when you go out there, and they have memorials, for all the different ships, and then they have the main Arizona memorial, and I think of 9/11, and I hope that the memorials in New York will stay the same and be preserved, and people, my grandkids will go there and see it and remember the same way I go to Pearl Harbor and think of my grandpa the way they fought.
Exactly. And then now we have September 11th, 2001.
Yeah.
And how that's affected us. I mean, it's affected our police. It's affected all first responders. It's affected our military, how we operate in theaters of war. It's affected the world over because of the fight between, let's face it, religion and countries of freedom. because where America has always separated religion and said that you're free to have whatever religion you want, you still have a constitution that you have to live by, and that gave us the ability to all live together. We're seeing a push from a certain religion that wants to dominate in not just in one little area, but in all aspects of a life, and it's sad, it's unfortunate, and it's something that is going to have to be dealt with, unfortunately. Some of you out there might want to side with that, but I beg you to take a stop and look back at what happened to the innocent people here in America that were not combatants that paid the price for that.
Yeah.
Take a look at the women and children that are being killed, maimed, and tortured in other countries because of that religion's dominance. Take a look at your world around you and see how things have changed, because granted, that stuff was always there, but now it's in our face in our everyday lives. I mean, there's been times where we've had to worry about our kids riding the buses to school. We have to worry about if we go to the mall or all kinds of stuff. Think about this. This is something that is life-altering. How can we not remember this? How can we not raise our flags? And then we have people out in the fields raising up Hispanic flags, or Mexican flags, or even putting the Mexican flag over America on American soil on a day where we're supposed to have remembrance for Americans who lost their lives. I mean, there's so much that bothers me out there that's going on, and I don't see enough being done. This reminds me again of World War II. If it wasn't for Churchill taking the lead and the charge, where would we be in this world today? What was it, Chamberlain, who was before Churchill? I forget who it was, but again, if we don't have a government that looks back on history, looks back on our Constitution, and deals with things as a leader would from that perspective, where are we going to be tomorrow? I mean, we've already seen today as yesterday's tomorrow be a drastic change. You can imagine it can get much worse.
Yep. And especially, I mean, like you said, we see it. It's everywhere now. I mean, it's hard to miss. Anybody has to do is have 1 ounce of want to find out the information, and you can either go online or just turn on the TV, and eventually something's going to come up about this stuff, and that right there should be enough to make you actually get that light bulb on and be like, oh man, this is, maybe I should pay a little bit of attention about the stuff I'm voting on.
Absolutely. And
especially with the elections coming up in a month or two.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
One thing too, this all reminds me of, is do not let the media dictate to you what should be right and what should be wrong. If it wasn't for the media, or let's say because of the media, we have lost wars because of our media, when in fact we've won them. There have been things that have happened that it's gotten to the point where now the president, the Congress, and the Senate, or the House, they should all go ask the media, is this okay to do, before we go out and do it? Because if they come out and they say, oh my God, look what they're doing, we've already lost. And it's ridiculous that it's gotten to that point.
And that's what they're going to do. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, the media. I mean, but it's easy to blame them, but that's because they're always there.
Yep. Kanani, in your time, what was the one thing that's happened to you in your lifetime that stands out as something that's changed America so much?
That's a really big question. Smiling at me. Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on where your priorities were. I mean, I'll be one of the first people to admit that it hasn't been that long that I've been fully aware of what's going on as far as world news goes and how history has affected the present day. And maybe it was this most recent September 11th as they're making the comparison and contrast between our current leadership and President Bush at the time, and how differently they interpreted the information and how the press had presented that. Because it's a stark black and white.
Right, yeah.
And I don't just mean in literal terms, but one is very passive about expressing what the meaning behind it was, and the other one was very not forceful, but much more aggressive in setting the standard and setting the bar high of what America should be and what America stands for.
Right, that's a good point, I think. And that reminds me of Ronald Reagan when I hear a comment like that. He set the bar high for America. I think that's a good thing.
And all leaders should.
Right.
It's no more than what we expect from our children.
Exactly.
From ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask
Why
you
would
this.
you set the bar low for yourself or for anybody?
Because
you
I'm
know?
lazy. I just want to kick back and do
You
my
don't look like you're
thing.
going to do much, so I'll just put it on notch 1 for you. You know, I mean, all right, cool.
Don't they have special classes for that?
Whoa.
All right, so let me ask you this then, Kanani. In contrast from one president, let's say George Bush, to President Obama, what do you see as the changes to our everyday lives because of the decisions that one president made versus another?
America's exceptionalism.
Okay, explain. How do you get to that?
Do tell.
One, I would say the current president does not maybe it's not expectations, but I think we're kind of back to that, setting the bar high, because I kind of believe that America should be standing out and being the leader in technology and ideas and innovation and freedom, and making that we're over here and we're going to do this, and the rest of you, if you're going to follow along, that's great, but if you don't, that's fine. And most recently I heard of the news was reporting that Obama had said he wasn't going to push forth in some of his strategies for combating the ISIS group because he didn't have a consensus amongst other world leaders. Whereas I would say that the previous president would have done it no matter what.
Well, the previous president literally said you're either with
Yeah,
us or against us.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
and
And
that was it right there. I mean, I think that's kind of what you're saying,
Yeah.
and that's the gist of it. And he said that, and he meant it. And
Right.
I mean, he did it. He followed up on his word.
Right, and we have then Obama saying that there's nothing exceptional about America.
Oh, God,
So
that's just
there's-
disheartening. That is sick.
Yeah, I mean, why would I don't know. I just don't understand why a president would say that.
Right.
You know, that would be something, whatever, somebody on a newscast would say. But somebody that holds a prestige like that should never, downgrade. That'd be like a major making his soldiers, bad mouthing them. That's just
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
not
there's
how
a
it works.
particular front holding the office that you have to portray to the rest of the world and to your country, even if you may personally not believe that.
Yeah.
But it's still to set that example to
Yeah.
say, okay, we are American. This is what we've always believed in, and so that's the direction we're going to go.
Hold your head high
Yeah.
and put your chest out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Otherwise, how do you expect your country to be behind you?
Exactly. It's funny you say that because, well, actually, we should probably take a quick break and come back and talk more about this. So stay tuned. If you've been listening, we've been talking about change in the world, and especially the changes that have come after incidences like World War II and September 11th. September 11th of 2001. So stay tuned and listen to more of what we have to say, because we have a lot to say. And if you'd like to be a part of the show and voice your concerns and what you think the changes are about and what has happened, give us a call. Our phone number here is 888-625, or you can call us in the Santa Maria area at 805-928-1440. And of course, if you miss those phone numbers, you can go onto our Facebook page. That's On the Firing Line with Joe, Matt, and Kanani, and get those phone numbers there. The outline is posted up. And we would love to hear your opinion on this. Today, we're going to just kind of open talk. It's just open to talk about discussions of things that are happening in our world now and what has brought us there. Because these are important things and they affect us all. So we'll be right back with you on the Firing Line with Kanani.
You're
Matt,
listening to On the Firing Line on the information station.
This is On the Firing Line with Matt, Jim, and Joe. We'll be right back with you on the Firing Line. If you have any questions, give us a call at 888-625-1440 or in the Santa Maria area, 928-1440. Don't forget, you can always listen in on am1440.com.
Tactical Guns and Gear is the Central Coast leader in tactical rifles, pistols, shotguns, and accessories. Building an AR-15, they have lower receivers, parts kits, trigger groups, and a ton of other AR parts from the most popular companies and stuff.
They are also the home of the Women's 101 Firearms and Women's Advanced Pistol classes and have trained thousands of local ladies.
The store is located off the 101 freeway in Santa Maria near the North Broadway exit. Look for the big rifle sign on the freeway as well as the giant 5-ton Tactical military truck, and they're now open on Mondays. America!
On the Firing Line is happy to have Law Offices of Christopher Coleman as a sponsor. The Law Offices of Christopher Coleman is located in Santa Barbara on 2019B State Street, specializing in personal injury and, more importantly, the Second Amendment and On the Firing Line with Matt and Joe. Give them a call at 805-682-3352, serving the Santa Barbara, Santa Maria, and San Luis Obispo areas for over 25 years.
Have you been looking for a new or used motorcycle or all-terrain vehicle?
with a staff that has a combined 270 years of experience to inspire and help you make that informed decision.
Santa Maria Motorcycles is your one-stop shop, and their mission is to provide you with that ultimate experience.
They also have rentals, so you can take that ride you've been dreaming of up the coast.
They're located at 2022 Presker Lane in Santa Maria, or give Chris and his team a call at 805-928-3668. Again, that's 805-928-3668.
We're happy to have a special guest here today at the Plumbing Talk Studios, Jeremy Griffin, owner of Griffin Plumbing in Orcutt. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Jeremy, the reason your plumbing company is called Griffin Plumbing is that your last name is, in fact, Griffin.
Yeah, that's right.
Unbelievable! Griffin, just like the legendary creature with the body of a lion and the wings of an eagle.
Yeah.
What a brilliant move, Jeremy.
I'm a genius.
To name your plumbing company after this majestic creature. A creature known not only to have divine power, but also to be a protector from all things evil.
Well, it is my last name.
Audience, listen carefully. If your plumbing devices are threatened in any way, I implore you to seek the power and protection of the Griffin.
We're always here to help. Just give us a call.
Call the Griffin.
Find us at callgriffinplumbing.com or call 934-1949.
You are on the firing line with Joe, Matt, and Kanani. Be a part of today's show by calling 888-625-1440, or if you're in the Santa Maria area, please give us a call at 928-1440.
That's right. We're back on the firing line with Joe, Matt, and Kanani. Give us a call at 1-888-625-1440, or if you're in the Santa Maria area, give us a call at 805-928-1440.
All right, thanks for that.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Sweet. So we're kind of just have a free-for-all Saturday, kind of an open format for this week's show. And we've been talking about September 11th and kind of where America is and what our political leadership is doing and or not doing, in our opinion.
What are they not doing?
Anything.
Boom. Yeah. Okay, so what did you think about the president's speech where he's talking about sending more people over there? More troops?
It seemed a little bit like a mixed message.
Didn't
like
it? That's
they're
kind of
going, we're going to send them over there, but we're not going to ask them to take a military action.
Yeah, they won't be put in harm's way, but they're
Right.
going to go. That's what he said. They're not going to be put in harm's way. They're just going to go over
So
there.
what are they going to do? Decorate the desert?
Well, and again, this is because
With
he
brass?
doesn't want to. He doesn't have, it's not the with us or against us attitude. He's like, oh, he has to be timid because he still wants to keep all his stuff with the other countries. And, the elections are coming up, which is a huge one, which is probably why he even said that in the first place. If the elections
probably.
weren't coming up, he probably wouldn't be doing anything about it.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's not that he would have chosen to do something. It's
No,
just
he
he would have
would've-
chosen to do nothing.
And, yeah, because you can sit back and, pretend not to do anything, and that's still doing something, but it's just not the right thing.
Yeah.
ISIS is... I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and it seems
Ruthless.
like he's trying to appease both sides of the, I
Exactly.
don't want to take action, but some people do, so if I do a little bit of something, then it's better than nothing.
You know what happens to people that play with double-edged swords?
Well, it's got to be bad for him because his own constituents are starting to say, hey, look, you better do something. Come on, do something.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Hello.
Yeah.
ISIS is no laughing matter. Yes, the media hypes things up, and as a matter of fact, Kanani just got done telling us during the break that it's just now been reported that ISIS has beheaded a third person,
The third journalist, yeah.
a third journalist. This one from England, you said? Mm-hmm. So, and to me, that's kind of unfortunate, not just because of that happening, but the media picks this up and they say, oh my God, a journalist has been beheaded.
Yep.
What about the rest of
All
the
the
Christians and children, mothers and fathers that have been beheaded too? Isn't that big news too?
Yeah, but, I mean, let's face it, you put somebody in an orange jumpsuit and do it in front of a camera, you're going to cause more of an uproar than just telling people that you killed 20 kids. Hearing about it and seeing it are two different emotions.
Where's the media at now? Why aren't they over
Right.
there in the trenches taking pictures of all that stuff and bringing it back here, putting it on the Life and Time magazines?
And that's a totally good point. I mean, there was, the last war that we went into in 2001 had the most war correspondent, battle journalists basically than any other war we've ever fought. I mean, there was like 4,000 of them out there.
Embedded,
exactly. And, I think, just small areas had hundreds of them, and so Where are they now? That's a good question. If they wanted to be there so bad at the tip of the spear, where are they now when people need the coverage for help?
Yeah, I want to see the media, in a light such as the journalists who know about the area, know the history and the strife of what's going on, know that there's a battle there to unite all of the Arab nations into one global country. And what they're doing to get that done. Show us that so that we can make a decision of how we should handle things here. Show us those things so that when our president and when our governors and senators and everybody get together, they have an understanding of what's really going on. And again, that's another thing that makes me mad, is because our governors and our senators have no clue what's going on over there. If you ask the average day person over there, over here in America, hey, what do you know about what's going on there? Well, I'm not sure. Or they'll make up something because they have no true clue of the religion and what it's about and what those people are going through or doing over there, and how it can affect us here. Sure, there may not be any actual substantiated claims that we may have ISIS on the border. But hey, we may have ISIS on the border come soon. You never know. Then we have unsubstantiated claims that airplanes are missing. Yeah. 11 to 12 of them?
Yep.
And
then, there's all the college student things. There's a lot of kind of scary stuff about it,
Well, you just said that they're not on the border. I actually saw a report that there are several young 20-ish people who were converting to Islam in order to recruit people.
I saw that. That looked totally more like a gang thing to me. Mm-hmm. It seemed almost like they were going to say, oh, well, we're doing this basically as an ends to their means so they could do whatever the heck it is that they were already doing, probably. Sure. But, it doesn't change it. Yeah, maybe there is somebody that was coming to them and whispering in their ear, hey, here's some money. Maybe here, start reading this book. Yeah. And we'll be back next month, give you another book. Yeah. And indoctrinate them over 6 months. But I don't know. It's a criminal organization down there. It's very corrupt, obviously. So it's hard to tell what mask they're actually wearing.
Right.
Well, and think of this too. We have a lot of people in the jail systems, the prison system here in America that are Muslim, and those guys are associated with gangs. And that is a serious threat. There's many different angles with which they can come at us with. It's scary. ISIS is something that needs to be dealt with.
And I think, of course, we always say when we're talking about ISIS and these things, Muslim, it comes up a lot. And it's not there's no, we're picking on anybody. It's just, that's just facts. There's not other people in those groups. There's not other religions in those groups. So it's not that, hey, we're looking, we should start, going after Muslims per se. But who's the only people that do this really? Look, after the past 10 years of what's happened, I'm sorry, but it's not 40-year-old white women.
Well, what's funny is you say Muslim. Muslim is not defined by a particular race. Anybody can become Muslim if you're Asian.
I know. When I said that, I actually thought it was as soon as it left my mouth. But yeah, you're right.
So
anybody can
If we
convert.
stereotype Muslims, we are stereotyping them by their religious belief.
Well, we've already done that.
And I'm sorry, but I don't think it's so bad. I think it's like you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I don't go to the bowl and get milk. I don't go to a cat and say, can I milk you for some milk for the kids?
Right.
I go to a cow because that's where it's at. So if I've got explosions happening from a religious group that's blowing up things and they're screaming Allah Akbar, guess where I'm going to go?
And that's a good point. It's the logical direction. It's where the arrow exactly. It's where the arrow points is to the Aloha snack bar.
Right.
All right. Just let me get that first.
It's out there.
Good.
Gosh. I really wish that I had a deeper understanding of some of this stuff, and unfortunately I don't. I'm reading all the time about different stuff, trying to understand different things, because I don't want to be corrupted by my government or by the media or anybody else. I want to try to find the truth so that when I know my government is speaking the truth, I can stand behind them and go, yeah, all right, let's deal with this.
Right, yeah.
And when I listen to the media and I know it's the falsities, I can go, okay, that's BS. Let's move on to the next thing, or turn it off, for that matter. But there's a lot going on in people. If we don't educate ourselves, we're going to be in a world of hurt soon. Yeah. Al-Qaeda, we thought that was a joke.
Yeah, not so funny now.
Not so funny now.
Yep. Well, I mean, so I think we could probably talk about this kind of all day, because there's a lot to it. I mean, we've all seen different things about it. We've all seen the same things probably. So there's just a lot to it. The bottom line is, don't forget what's happening right now. When you have the president coming on national television and saying things like, we're going to send troops overseas again. For people that are hearing that, I mean, if you hear that and you don't know why we're sending troops overseas, you should find out, because it's very important. And just like we started the show off with 9/11 and Pearl Harbor, it's stuff we shouldn't forget or let go, and that's kind of the point of that, I think.
Well, and the thing is we portray a weakness. Guess what? 9/11 will be a speck in the eye compared to what can be coming.
9/11 times 1,000.
Well, I think some of the reports too are portraying at least we're not taking you seriously when they begin to go, well, it's not that big of a deal. We don't have to respond. We don't have to take action against them. We're just going to send people over there just to hang out and not actually fight the assault that's happening.
Yep. Yeah. And that's, that might be all good and well. They might actually be sending them over there to whatever, humanitarian aid or something.
Yeah.
But once they get over there and ISIS bolsters their stuff again, what do you think they're going to do when you have 100,000 troops sitting in the desert? You're going to be like, no, or no, you're going to send them in. So it's a stepping stone. It's an island hop to actually get there, potentially. If they do go that bad, if we already have them there, at least it's a quick reaction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also might cause people to jump the gun. Not that we shouldn't go in there, but like we started saying, everything needs to be thought out thoroughly right now.
It does. It needs to be thought out thoroughly. Absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't be in this position if things were thought out thoroughly, because of the simple fact we created a vacuum by pulling our men out so quickly out of an area that we knew was
hostile.
Was still hostile. And it is just ridiculous. They would have never crossed the border into Iraq had our military still been there, still guiding the Iraqis and doing what they were doing. And the equipment they have now, that's no joke. I mean, they're better equipped now than they've been in their entire existence. They have money, they have oil, they have tanks, they have all kinds of things. Yep. Sure, some of this stuff will probably break down and they won't be able to repair them because they won't be able to get parts.
That's what happens when a JDAM hits it.
Very true. So, I mean, there's a lot to be thought of there. All right. That was a lot on one subject. I mean, we've spent a half an hour talking about something, and I'd love to keep talking more about it. If you want to call up and talk more about this, please do so. But there are things going on here in our area that we need to think about. We have senators that break the law and say, hey, that's no big deal. It was an oversight. We'll fix that. We have unconstitutional laws trying to be passed, and even on our governor's desk, there's some bad stuff going on. For one, think of the one that says you cannot have any BB guns that look like a real gun. Pew pew.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. It is absolutely ridiculous.
How does a little kid, learn? That's the beginning of gun safety, is when you get that BB gun.
It is. Well, and you know what? Okay, so he has to have a clear gun. I guess I wouldn't have a problem with that, except for one thing. This law puts it in such a way that, well, all BB guns are going to be determined that they're a BB gun because they're going to have clear plastic and they're going to be in colors.
It shoots a little BB projectile. Right. Basically, no matter whether it's airsoft, an actual BB, or a pellet, it's all BB.
So now the criminal, all he has to do is go out there with his pink Hello Kitty AR, and nobody will be worried about it.
Oh, that's a BB gun.
Exactly.
It's a BB gun, and it's unloaded because they, it's safe now because they have unloaded BB guns.
Right. Why? He just shot me with that. That's no BB.
That's a hell of a BB gun.
Exactly.
I want to give me one of
They're
those.
not thinking about these laws as they pass these things. And of course, De Leon. Oh my God.
Genius.
What has this guy accomplished? We've looked back at AB 362, 2062, 962, which was ruled unconstitutional, 1498, 2186, 2358, 2358, 427, which was a Senate bill. And that one was vetoed. Then we have Senate Bill 798, which all these bills died. He never got anywhere with them.
Yeah,
the only bill that he's passed was Senate Bill 1315. And I don't even know what that was.
I was going to ask you, what is 1315?
Nice.
That's how important it was.
Apparently. But so obviously he pushes in a lot of stuff. I mean, he puts a lot of it out there, hoping that whatever he catches, I mean, it's like you cast more nets, you catch more fish.
You know what's funny is whilst 1315 was approved, that's the one bill that he violated himself.
I thought it was 56.
I think it was. It could be 56.
You're talking about the tax revenue?
Yes.
That's 56.
Okay, 56. He violated. Oh wow! So he did accomplish something else.
Because I actually didn't know what that one was when I read the article, and then I had to go look it up.
So you didn't know what it was, and what'd you do?
I went and I looked it up.
All right, just so you guys are listening, that's a good way to find out information. Konami
Wow.
just gave you a good hint.
You can always use the Bonjour machine.
Yes. The Bongiorno.
So
Radical.
again, we're right back at, we have politicians that don't want to follow their own rules. They think they're above us. They think that they know what's good for us and what's better for us.
I don't think
and
he
they're
thought he'd
making
get
the laws.
caught.
Hold on a second. What's this 808 requires you to permanently engrave/deface all unserialized handguns and all long guns made after December 16th, 1968.
I think it's part of the 80%er and the 3D
So
printing.
they're going to make you destroy like awesome old lever guns from the 60s?
I was
Yeah,
just
so that
thinking
you
the
can
same
serialize
thing.
them. Yeah, so they can be registered.
Anything that's a Cure and Relic that
Awesome little Raven pistols.
right, you're going to destroy the value of your weapon because of California law. Try selling that in another state.
That's
Try
their
selling
idea.
a mint weapon
Yeah.
that is a collector and is a part of our history
With a scratched
with
out
a scratched or inscribed new serial number on it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You've defaced a weapon of history.
Right.
And those of you who think weapons are bad, you guys are off your rockers in the first place.
Well, to put it into perspective, I mean, maybe if somebody doesn't really get the, I mean, it's like if you were buying art and then it was an old piece and somebody repainted it with finger painting. So, well, it's the same picture. But, I just repainted it for you. A collector's not going to want that.
Yeah, it's like thinking baseball cards. You
Yeah.
nick the corner, it's over.
Yeah. Oh, well, it got faded, so I used a Sharpie. But it's
Right,
good
I just
now.
colored it back in.
Yeah, so give me full price.
It's like having an old painting and a new law comes out that says, well, you've got to write a serial number on the bottom corner of that painting.
Yeah.
So you go over there with
Yeah.
your finger
Yeah.
or a brush and you put in a serial
Yeah.
number and register it.
That's a
now
good
this
point.
beautiful painting that was done by this magnificent person
It's defaced.
is defaced.
Because no matter how good you write that on there, it's still
It's
going to
not-
be.
still not
Yeah,
original.
it's not original. It's not going to be the same. Every collector knows that.
So that,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I kind of believe. I mean, I think you're right. That's probably for the whole 80% or lower,
Yeah.
and because they do. I've seen 80% 1911s that they sell, so they do handguns too. I don't know any about the law on those. I've just seen them. But
The funny thing is, though, is in the state of California, it is against the law to have an unregistered handgun. Period. And to have it registered, you have to have a serial number, unless it was produced before a certain date.
Right.
All right, so this law does nothing to stop handgun violence.
right.
It
No.
does
No,
nothing.
not-
to
What does a
even
serial
curb it.
number do to stop handgun violence?
Nothing.
This doesn't
Right.
even the win from this doesn't even touch the gun violence, quote gun violence.
And rifles? Okay, so now you have to put a serial number on your rifle. Well,
Why?
if you already own guns and they're going to come to collect your weapons,
Pew pew.
you're going to lose that rifle either way. Unless you stand up and fight and we read about you in the news if the media decides to cover it.
Which they won't because
I don't know. It might be big news.
no, I don't know.
Man dies.
I think it depends on who
Violent-
wins.
The violence? Yeah.
That always depends. That's always a big factor on that type of stuff.
2 neighbors accidentally killed while FBI served warrant on man with unregistered AR lower.
I know, 80% lower, unassembled.
But it wouldn't be unassembled. It would be a man with a ton of assault weapons ready to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would be
and
so.
it would show some picture, and there'd be like a lever
Yeah.
action, a little bolt action 22, and like a mini 14, and it would be like assault weapons, and that's
And
totally
he has 200 rounds of ammunition, enough to
Yeah.
feed a whole army.
exactly. And I've heard that so many times. They always do that, including 150 rounds of rifle. It's like, well, yeah.
But you're right. It'll be the lever action, and then they'll show a picture right after the lever action behind them as they talk about it.
An
and it'll be of
AR.
an AR, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This fully automatic weapon.
Well, of course they all are. Look at them.
Then we'll find out
I
later
can just
on.
tell by looking at it. That it's fully auto.
he actually threw knives and it skipped off the ground and hit somebody.
Yeah, and now they're suing him
Right.
for a paper cut.
Okay. Yes.
Holy cow.
This has gone way out of control.
That was the point. This is a free forum day.
Right.
I get to rant and rave, all right?
And you're right. It's totally out of control that they're making these rules and laws that don't do anything to further their what they call intent.
But it's another law form, like I was saying. I mean, it makes them look good. Whether or not it passes or gets shot down, hey, they're putting laws
They're doing
up.
something.
They're doing their job. That's what people think.
Yeah.
These guys are doing a great job. Look at
Look at me. Look at
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
I'm special. Look what I did for you.
Yeah, look at me. I'm making laws all the time. So vote for me again. Because I always make laws, even though they don't get passed ever. But
yeah,
whatever.
that one was unconstitutional. Sorry, but I'll try again.
So many people, sadly, do not care at all about unconstitutional. They don't even know.
Well, not until it affects them directly.
But even then, they don't know what to complain about. They don't know to complain that it's actually unconstitutional. They're just going, oh, this sucks.
Oh, it's okay if they tell me I can't say that.
Yeah, it's all right. Fine, I'll just say
Shush,
something
you can't
else.
say that.
Exactly. Where's it in,
No,
man?
shush, you can't say
Where
that
does
either.
it in?
But you don't know any better, so what happens? You shut up.
I never knew any better. All right, so should we
What, take another break?
take a breather for a minute and then come back with it? Finish it off good?
Sure, we can do that.
All right.
We'll hit up some more of this God.
Interesting discussion.
Interesting discussion, yes. And we'll be right back on the firing line to do just that.
We'll be back to more of On the Firing Line with Joe and Jim after this.
This is On the Firing Line with Matt, Jim, and Joe. We will be right back with you on the firing line. If you have any questions, give us a call at 888-625-1440 or in the Santa Maria area, 928-1440. Don't forget, you can always listen in on am1440.com.
Tactical Guns and Gear is the Central Coast leader in tactical rifles, pistols, shotguns, and accessories. Building an AR-15, they have lower receivers, parts kits, trigger groups, and a ton of other AR parts from the most popular companies and stuff.
They are also the home of the Women's 101 Firearms and Women's Advanced Pistol classes and have trained thousands of local ladies.
The store is located off the 101 freeway in Santa Maria near the North Broadway exit. Look for the big rifle sign on the freeway as well as the giant 5-ton Tactical military truck, and they're now open on Mondays. America!
On the Firing Line is happy to have Law Offices of Christopher Coleman as a sponsor. The Law Offices of Christopher Coleman is located in Santa Barbara on 2019B State Street, specializing in personal injury and, more importantly, the Second Amendment and On the Firing Line with Matt and Joe. Give them a call at 805-682-3352, serving the Santa Barbara, Santa Maria, and San Luis Obispo areas for over 25 years.
On the air with the Midnight Mystic is one of our regular callers, truck driver Charlie.
Well, I just seen another one, Midnight Mystic.
Another Griffin, Charlie?
I'm telling you, they're all over the Central Coast now.
How long have you been on the road now, Charlie?
2, 5, 8 weeks, I don't know.
Perhaps you should park the truck and get some sleep, and maybe the Griffins will disappear.
Well, there it is again. I'm going after it.
What does it look like, Charlie?
Holy mackerel. It's got the body of a lion and the head of an eagle.
Is it flying, Charlie?
It's on the side of a white truck.
Is it a Griffin plumbing truck, Charlie?
Could be. I don't know. I'm pulling right up to it.
We seem to have lost contact with Charlie, but I'm sure he'll be okay because Griffins, just like the good folks at Griffin Plumbing, are here to protect and serve. In fact, if your plumbing devices are threatened in any way,
Call the Griffin.
Find us at callgriffinplumbing.com or call 934-1949.
Welcome back to On the Firing Line with Joe, Matt, and Kanani.
That's right. You are on the firing line with Joe, with Matt, with Kanani.
What's up?
Oh, what nice. Give us a call at 1-888-625-1440 or 928-1440. Looks like we got a caller on the line. What's happening, Dan?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, rocking out, man. How you been?
Oh, man, I've been doing the California Pistol and Rifle Association. Hitting that thing, tell Jerry Brown to veto all this crap.
Yep.
I mean, I'll tell you what, that DeLeon, what an idiot.
Oh, he's a genius, ain't he?
That guy's an idiot. And, I like to think that, we've won a whole lot on that, but this thing on the, vintage firearms.
Yeah.
I've got a 22 here. I have a 2-bead J.C. Higgins firearm that has no serial number on it.
Uh-oh, you know, better be careful, man. That's crazy assault weapon you got there.
No, I looked all over the thing and it said there's no serial number on it. I went down and talked to Lee down here at the, Sportsman, and I said, what's the deal with this? No serial number. I did some, I realized that they sold it as like you were buying a gopher trap.
Oh, right, yeah. A lot of guns, in previous years were not serialized. I mean, just plain and simple. And that's why this bill is so ridiculous, because firearms like the 22 that you have, you're going to have to engrave a number onto it, and then the cool gun you have is no longer in its good condition.
Yeah. No,
So-
and I spent about 6 hours, 10 hours on this thing.
What'd you
What
do
I
to it?
consider, restoring it, cleaning it. It had never been cleaned. It took me, I was digging out the powder and shit out of this thing. And, I got it cleaned up. Everything looks like I can't wait to go shoot it. But, it's a tube feed, and it'll shoot shorts all the way up to long rifles on a semi-automatic, rifle.
Yep.
I can't wait to go see how well it operates, because I can't believe, you can do shorts and, all the way up to long rifles on this. I have to go see how this gun shoots. But
Yep, those are cool little guns, little 22 rim fires. It's good stuff. I mean, so hopefully this bill doesn't pass and you can keep the gun in that shape, and you won't have to take it and pay more money just to get some silly random numbers thrown on it.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing is, this is the guns that, like kids used to actually be able to go to school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've talked about it before,
Yeah.
Keep the 22 in the locker or in the principal's
drag
office.
that thing down when you go home. If you shoot something you can eat. You got a cottontail. Hey, we got, meat and, we got meat in the pot.
Rabbit stew, man.
That's it. I mean, this is like, it's so sick. I mean, this, political correctness.
Yeah, well, I've had it with political correctness. But, hey, Dan, thanks a lot for giving us a call. We always appreciate to hear you.
Everybody goes on to, firearms.org.
Okay,
So,
we'll check it out.
What
I'm writing
that
it down
is,
right
and
now.
Make sure you...
Firearms.org.
I think it's firearms
All right.
policy.org.
We'll check it out. So
Make sure you get that. Make sure everybody goes there and tells Governor Brown to veto these bills that have been signed.
that's the way we got to do it. That's what we got last time for the assault weapons bill. So hopefully we can do it again. Thanks for calling, Dan. Have a good day. All right.
Hey, you have a good one.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right, just in case you were wondering who you should call and what phone number, that phone number would be 916-445-2841. Again, the governor's office would be 916-445-2841. And you, too, can urge him to veto each of the bills. Senate Bill 808, AB 1014, AB 1609, and Senate Bill 199.
Yep.
Tell him no.
Yeah, this is a no-go. And, Joe and I have kind of been saying this for a few years. When you call, be respectful, be polite, cast us in a good light. Don't just start screaming at them. I know you want to, but, just let them know, hey, I oppose this. They'll take note of it, and hopefully it'll put enough pressure on him, so he won't sign these things. And I do sort of believe that it kind of worked after the whole assault weapons ban. He did not sign, roughly a year and a half ago? Or 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's been about a year now.
Yeah.
Well, there was the most recent one I thought that they had sent in that didn't pass either.
That was the ammunition one.
Right.
Again,
Right.
DeLeon,
Because of how many
again.
people had called in and written or faxed or emailed.
Even though this guy is like, no brains, no headaches with 30 caliber clip magazines. But
DeLeon.
That's what I'm saying. But at least he, stuff isn't passing, and he's
Thank
not
God.
signing stuff. So maybe there is maybe a small little one candela at the end of the tunnel.
One little glimmer of hope, yes.
Yeah, that's all I really need. As long as there's something, that's good.
I need
enough.
more than that. I need
Well,
a
we'll get more
line
than
in the
that.
sand drawn that says, hey, you cannot cross this line.
But we'll get more than that. You know, we keep moving towards that little light. Before you know it, it's going to be.
I thought we already had the line drawn. It's called the Constitution.
Yeah, I was just going to say, didn't we draw that a couple hundred years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you know, too bad we can't go to that same beach or same piece of ground and look at that line.
Nice. Well, you know, I mean, when our forefathers,
only 4 of them.
Yeah, all 4 of them. They really did. I mean, they literally, like totally literally, you know, made that line, and you know, with the British, and was literally the birth of America as who we are now.
You know, it's a good point you made that. They got together and they made that line. They did it
3%.
That's right.
3% of America.
But that line was set to the point where other nations wanted to have what we had. Other people came to America because they wanted what we had. And what do we have now? We have a president. We have a country that capitulates and wants to change. Even our upper class wants to be more like, well, let's go to Paris. We need things like that here.
Whoa.
You know,
It's so
and stuff like that.
progressive.
What?
It's so progressive.
It is.
They live this beautiful life, and they're just.
We were supposed to leave that kind of mentality behind and create a new frontier here, create a new world here. And yes, it's going to have hiccups. Yes, there's going to be bad things that go on. But you don't stop loving it. It's just like when you have a child. Just because your child makes a mistake or talks out of turn, does something wrong, you don't dislike your child or dislove them.
Oh.
Even when your child steals or does something like, I don't know.
Whatever it is, you're forgiving. You have to
Yes.
be. You have to be forgiving to stuff like this, especially when it's something this close to your heart, your country, your family, your kid. You know, I mean, that is something you have to live and learn with it, but you have to forgive, and, you know, you have to. There's a lot of things, but that's part of it.
Be proud of America.
Is remembering. Yeah, thank you. And that was, yeah, simply said, be proud of America, and really, you can end the statement right there.
You can. But I can't.
Well, of course you
because
can't.
the truth of the matter is again, right back to your child. Just because your child lies or maybe steals once when he's a young kid, you have to teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
And when he's done and he's turned around that thing where he doesn't do it anymore, you are proud of him.
That's
You be
how we all
proud of
learn
it.
lessons. Whatever it is, we all learn a lesson. You know, as kids or as anybody growing up, you learn lessons the hard way every once in a while.
And
And
America's
that's part of it. To be great, you have to have those type of, you know, downfalls. Every great thing never came easy. I mean, there's nothing that has held, put it that way. I mean, I'm sure great things have came easy, but nothing has held that came easy.
And America is a great country. I don't care what anybody says. Sure, you can have some things that are better in other countries, but as a whole, we are the place to be. We're where the party is.
Yeah. You know, just California's kind of hoosh. But I have pride in my state regardless.
Amen. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you got anything to add to that, anybody?
No, I totally agree with you. But I will say that I don't think that the current administration has the same outlook on how they view America that we do. They have a very different mentality about how America is and how it should be. And
well, they're wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like when, you know,
that's
the
not
stuff
just my opinion.
The stuff that you're saying Obama said.
Yeah.
Why would anybody ever say that? Why would you say something about that to your people that put you in the job you have now? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to start trash talking, you know, my constituents people I rely on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just
the people who supported me to be here expect a particular viewpoint out of me, and that's what they're going to do no matter
And they
what.
expect leadership. You know, okay, have you guys ever seen U-51? I think it's U-51, the submarine.
Yeah, 571.
Okay, U-571. Okay,
Awesome.
remember he takes over the submarine, and they're in a panic moment, and
Get
somebody
the
asks him,
Enigma.
"What do we do?" And he goes, "I don't know."
Yeah, he freezes.
He freezes. So later on, his second in command comes up to him, and he says, "You don't ever tell them you don't know what's going on.
Yep.
Even if you have to make a decision and you're not sure about it, you make a decision and you do something because they're looking to you for leadership."
And that's a excellent point. And that goes with all that type of stuff, and especially in that's just a good scenario, leadership in the military and stuff, you know. And it goes from something extreme like that to something rather benign. I mean, just like if you're an officer, you don't even gamble with the guys under you, because what if you win and have to take their money?
Right.
And, you know, we've heard that before, and it's just...
Band of Brothers.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was one of those that I've watched. But it's a good point, though, and that just that right there is the mindset we need.
That's right.
That's what it just made me. That's what it made me think of.
You know, and that mindset of not to take from those who you are leading, that speaks volumes, and it says so much, because if you take from somebody, you lessen them.
Yeah.
And when in fact you should be building them up.
Yep. And how
they're
they
not
going to look
there
up
to
to
serve you. You are there to serve them.
Nice. Well said. Truth dart.
Yeah, totally.
Truth dart to the
Boom.
forehead.
Boom! I did it. I get $1 at the end of the show. Yay!
Oh, I didn't know about this. Awesome. Truth darts get you $1.
Yeah, we're getting a jar out here. That's all there is to it. I want
Party
$1
time.
for that.
All right.
And
Sweet.
yeah,
All right. Well, let's see. We got a couple minutes left. What do you guys? Closing thoughts?
Kanani, what out there in the news has hit you so hard that you're upset about that you want to talk about right here?
Gosh, I have to think really hard about it. I usually check a blog called gunfreezone.net, and they usually have some pretty absurd stuff of what
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Those
really good
people
stuff
are
there.
Awesome, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They really are. The latest, I think, was the Moms Demand Action in every town for every mayors or all that hoopla. Was talking about how they're not going to start banning assault weapons anymore. They're going to go after long guns. And as we all know, long guns is like, well, pretty much
That's
everything,
a broad
it's a very,
statement.
very, very wide net to collect and to begin banning. That kind of got me heated a
So
little
we
bit.
should start buying more pistols then.
I guess so.
You know, and
Oh
we should
my
all start
God.
buying AR pistols or something. That'd be cool.
So that's
I
why.
thought that.
That's why the article came out in the New York Times that said assault weapon is just a myth.
Maybe.
Ooh, Mythbusters? Mythbusters.
Because I read that on the internet, bonjour, on the internet recently, where the New York Times did come out and they said, yeah, the media has portrayed assault rifles and it's a made-up word. It's really a myth. And so
Well,
now that
possible,
putting this
yeah.
together with what you're saying, because why else would they come out and say this kind of stuff after everything else they do? And
Especially
say,
after all, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So now it's not going to be assault weapons. It's going to be long guns.
Long guns.
Let's take away the long
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah.
Evil wood long guns. Instead of being an evil black rifle, now it's just going to
Yeah.
be
No
evil.
rubber band guns.
Maybe. It's a long gun.
It's a long
yeah.
gun.
And this is funny because we've said in the past, hey, it won't stop here. It'll
I was
continue
thinking
on.
the same thing, and how
Totally.
there was such a divide between those who were sporter hunters and those who were competitive shooters, and those who weren't those people, and that the one particular group that would be very fond of assault rifles was saying no, we're all in the same group. We're not just sporters, because everybody uses the same kinds of guns, and pretty soon they're going to come after our long guns. Pretty soon they're going to come after all of them if we let them have this one. They're going to continue
Which
to go.
is, I
Which is
mean,
exactly what
100%
just
true.
happened
Yeah.
right there.
Patriots.
Exactly. And, that kind of makes me, again, default to when we say, if we lose the second, we'll lose the rest.
Yeah.
And that right there is the catalyst to this.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not to be, paranoid or anything, but it's already started in
It's-
that case.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, and it started in 1928 or 24, whatever, with the National Firearms Act. Really, I mean, I think that's where we took the first wrong step.
The funny thing is this is a battle that will happen for the rest of America's life. We as people must be vigilant because there will always be an attack on some right here or there, whether it be firearms or something else. And we can see that as precedents set by all the rulings in our Supreme Court back from the late 1700s and the early 1800s all the way up to today.
Yeah.
The ideal of gun control is not a new ideal. It is something that has been around for a long time.
No, well-
and it's something that, like I said, you have to be vigilant.
Guns, real quick, what a gun gives somebody power. It's the great equalizer. What do people love to control? Power. So that right there, I mean, of course they're going to go after
If
it.
I take away your power, then you will have to become subservient.
Well, they will have more
That's
power over you because now you have less than I do.
Exactly, and it's a vicious circle once that starts. That's when you start taking things from other people so you can become more powerful. It becomes a very slippery slope.
How many William Wallaces do you guys want out there?
Freedom. I don't know.
I mean, you think about it. How many people do we have to go out there and fight for all of us to have that freedom?
Yep.
Everyone that comes up.
Well, luckily we have lots of people right now fighting
Give her
for
a
all
dollar
of
after
us.
the show.
Lots of people,
Yeah.
So, again, I think the end of the show, again, was right after September 11th. So don't forget that stuff. And again, also keep all the military men and women in your hearts and minds, and have a good weekend. Catch us next week on The Firing Line. Matt, Joe, and Kanani. Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom.